Hello everyone, so today I'm going to show you how to make these crochet bracelets. They're extremely easy to make and they also take less than an hour to make. So without further ado, let me tell you guys the materials you need to make these bracelets. The first thing you're going to need is some yarn. The yarn that I use for these bracelets is usually a lightweight yarn or super fine yarn. And I'm actually going to be using a 3.5mm hook because I'm going to use 2 strands of yarn at the same time to crochet. You're also going to need a little bit of clear bead cord, something to measure, and you're also going to need some pearls. The beads I use are 4mm beads and the hole is 1mm. I will leave the link to the beads in the description down below. Alright, so when you're done gathering all of the materials, we can start making the bracelet. Alright, so we're gonna start making the bracelet. Again, I'm going to use 2 strands of yarn to make the bracelet. So take your yarn and we're gonna start by making a slip knot. So we're gonna roll our yarn on our 2 fingers like this, making an X shape. Then you're gonna want to put your hook underneath here and grab the yarn over here. Turn your fingers and take them off and pull. And then you can pull again to adjust it to your hook. And make sure you have a good 8cm tail of yarn here. If it's longer, it's totally fine. You can always cut it at the end to shorten it, but it's better to be longer than too small. So for me, I prefer it to be around 8cm. So I'm probably going to cut it a little bit at the end. So when you're done doing your slip knot, you're gonna want to chain 1. And as you can see, because we're using 2 strands, we have 2 loops on our hook like this. So 1 and 2 here. So now the next step is that we're gonna push a little on the yarn and we're gonna take off our hook. And then you're gonna want to grab your clear bead string, and it doesn't need to be super long, just a couple centimeters. You're also going to want to grab a bead. So what we're gonna do now is that we're gonna grab 1 loop and we're gonna pass our string here inside of the loop. I hope you guys can see clearly. And we're gonna come and pinch the top like this of the string. Once the string is close like this, we're going to be able to pass the bead through it. Here, like this. So the 2 little strands passed through the bead. And what we're gonna do now is just push, and the bead is going to go inside here of the little loop, like this. Once the bead is inside of your loop, you can take off the string. And we're gonna go ahead and do the same thing for the other loop. So here's my string. I'm gonna pass it inside of the second loop. And I'm gonna bring the 2 ends close together, like this. And I'm going to pass the 2 ends inside of my pearl. Alright, so here my 2 little ends are inside of my pearl. So I'm gonna push down the pearl for it to enter in the loop. And so here we have our 2 first beads inside of our loops. When your 2 beads are in the loop, we're going to put back our hook in the 2 loops. Pull on your yarn to tighten it a little bit. And then you're going to yarn over and pull through. Like this. And so you're basically going to have to repeat this until you have the right length for your wrist. So for me, that's 17 stitches. And I like to keep around 4 centimeters here without pearls. That's just what I prefer. But because this is going to be your first time doing this, every now and then you're gonna have to put it on your wrist and see if it fits and if you want to add more beads or not. Alright, so I'm gonna show you again how to make this. So now again, we have 2 loops on our hook. We're gonna pull a little bit on the yarn and we're gonna take back again our string and pass it inside of 1 loop like this and join it on the top here, just like this. You're then going to want to take your bead and pass both ends of the string inside of the bead just like this, and pull on the bead to make it enter inside of your yarn, and you can take off the string. Now go ahead and repeat the same thing for the other loop. Take back your string, pass it inside of the loop, join it together in the top like this. Take another bead, pass your bead through both little ends of the string like this, and pull, and it enters inside of the loop, and take it off. So now that our two pearls are inside there, we can put back our hook through both loops and pull on the yarn to tighten it. Once it's tight, you can yarn over and pull through all the loops on your hook like this, and restart the whole process again. So we're gonna pull on the yarn, take off our hook, pass the string through the loop, join it at the top like this, and then pass your bead through like this and pull. Now we're gonna do the same thing with the other loop, and so we're gonna pass the string through the loop, join the string on the top, take another bead and pass it inside of the two ends like this, and pull on it. So here we have another set. Take your hook back, pass it through both loops and pull. Once everything is tight like this, chain one. So yarn over and pull through. So here we have 3 sets. I'm gonna show you guys one last time. Pull some yarn, take off your hook, take your string and pass it inside of the loop. Bring it closer at the top here. Take another bead and pass it through the 2 little ends like this, and pull. And we're gonna do the same thing with the other loop. Take your string, pass it inside of the loop, bring it close together at the top, take another bead and pass it through like this, and pull on it and take off the string. We can put back our hook inside and pull, and chain one, yarn over, pull through. And so just continue this until you have the right length for your wrist. I'm going to continue this and I'll see you guys then to show you how to end this project. So here I have 17 stitches with my pearls, and so this is what it looks like on my wrist, and so on the other side it looks like this. So as I said, I like to keep a little gap like this. It's about 4 centimeters. If you don't want to have a big gap like me, you can always add a couple of more stitches with pearls. Whenever you're done and you have the right length for your wrist, the last thing you want to do is again pull on your yarn and make a chain like this. And we're actually going to add one more. So yarn over and pull through again. And then you're gonna want to pull some yarn. And once again, I'm going to pull here about 8 to 9 centimeters. I'm gonna do 9 because my other tail here was 9 centimeters. So at least they're going to look the same. So here about 9 centimeters. I'm gonna cut it here in the middle and pull out the remaining yarn. So here we're pretty much almost done with our bracelet. We have one last step to make it a bit cuter. You don't have to do this, this is really up to you. But what I do is that I take my string and I'm gonna pass it underneath here. So right now this is what it looks like, and join it on the top here. You're gonna want to pass a pearl through both little ends like this. And we're gonna pull through. We're gonna have to pull a little bit harder just because there's two strands right now. So here we go, we passed it inside. Just pull a bit again. You can take off your string and then we're gonna pull again on the two loops. So one like this, and pull on the other loop too. So now the pearl is in through both little tails of yarn. And so now is the time to determine if this tail is too long for your wrist or not. So I'm going to go ahead and attach my bracelet on my wrist. So as you can see, these tails are pretty long. So I think I'm gonna cut about 1 centimeter in both sides. So I'm gonna cut here, on the other side, like this. So back to the pearl, we're now going to make a knot at the end here. So I just make a regular little knot. So I roll the yarn like this on my finger, and then you can pass this little tail inside of the circle like this, and then pull. And I try to bring it as close to the edge as possible. So pull it tight. And I once again cut a little bit the excess here because I don't like the way it looks. Not too close to the knot. So like this, we're sure that the pearl is not going to fall off. So go ahead and do the same thing on the other side here. So I'm gonna take my string and pass it underneath here, and I'll bring it close at the top. So this is what it looks like. Going to take a bead and pass it at the top like this, and now I'm gonna pull on the bead. So now that the bead is inside here like that, I'm gonna take off the string and just pull here like this, and I'm gonna make my little knot. And I'll cut up the excess, and here the little bead is not gonna fall off. So once you put your two beads like this, you're officially done with your bracelet. So you can put it on and make a small knot, not too tight. So I hope you guys enjoyed making this little bracelet. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more crochet tutorials. Thank you so much for watching. See you guys next time. Bye.